Hello everyone, my name is T Hunter. If this is your first time coming to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back and thank you so much for coming back. So I am coming to you live from my bathroom. Today I wanted to talk about protecting your peace at any cost. And I figured what better way to start this video than with a little self-care. Whenever I'm feeling overwhelmed, or like my peace is being disrupted, self-care is definitely something that I like to do to rebalance. One thing that I enjoy doing is using a fresh face mask from my favorite cosmetics, Lush. This is the BB Seaweed Fresh Face Mask. So it has seaweed and soothing aloe vera so to help keep my skin calm and cool. Let's get started. So the Bible tells us that God will keep us in perfect peace if we keep our minds stayed on Him. So for me, that means, reading my Bible, taking time to pray, and not just doing a lot of talking in prayer time, but also making sure that I carve out space to be quiet, to hear God's voice. Whenever I'm feeling like my peace is being disrupted and I'm taking practical steps to restore it instead of just letting myself run amok, letting my thoughts and my imaginations get away from me to the point that I'm stressed. Or, extremely stressed. So I would say that some practical ways that you can protect your peace. You can do what I, mentioned. For those of you who are believers, praying, reading your word, taking time to journal if that's your thing. Just, any way that you can have quiet time. So this way you're not just being, overwhelmed and bombarded by chaos, but take time to remove yourself from chaotic situations. Another way would be in your interpersonal relationships. There's going to be conflict at some point, even if it's just something as simple as a difference of opinion. That can definitely be a distraction, and it can be one tool that the enemy can use to disrupt your peace. So when you're noticing that is happening, that's where, taking space and setting healthy boundaries, and not only setting them, but enforcing them. I'm just going to speak for myself. Sometimes I can start to feel guilty when I enforce the boundaries that I've already set. So I'm definitely working on that as far as having peace when I have to enforce a boundary that I've already put in place to promote peace and to, just protect my overall mental, emotional, and spiritual health. Another thing that you can do would be, this actually ties into boundaries as well. Sometimes it's knowing when to put the phone down, when to turn the TV off. There is so much going on in our world. And while, of course, prayer should be our first strategy instead of our last resort, we are not all powerful. There's only so much that we can do in a day. So instead of overwhelming ourselves to the point of, I have to fix everything that's going on in the world, and if I don't fix it today, I'm a failure. Just saying that alone can trigger anxiety and wreck your peace of mind. So knowing when to, put the phone down, stop scrolling, take social media breaks if you have to, turn CNN off from time to time, read your word, take a nap, read a good book, call a friend, reach out to family, get outdoors, do something that will take you away from watching so much negativity or just events that will spike your anxiety. Like, it's okay to take a pause and to move away from those things if you want to promote peace. Now, if you're all about chaos and you're all about having your anxiety heightened because you have a fear of missing out and you need to know things, to each his own. I would say when it comes to protecting your peace, one thing that I know can put me in a negative headspace is this idea of, I have no control and I have no choice. So when I start to feel those thoughts coming up, I have to remind myself, the devil has influence, but he does not have all power. For those of us who are believers in Jesus Christ, we know that God has all power. And nothing that is happening in our lives is catching God by surprise. So knowing that he is in control, that definitely restores peace. That does not mean that we're not going to go through things that don't feel good. It does not mean that we're not going to experience pain. It does not mean that we won't ever have tests and trials. It simply means that when you are a believer, you don't have to go through any of those tests, those trials, and that pain by yourself. So that can definitely be something to remember when you're starting to notice that your peace is being disrupted. So now that I have given you some practical tips that I follow, and maybe you can even use in your day-to-day life to protect your peace at any cost, I am going to remove this mask and I will be right back. Okay, so I have masked, removed the mask, and did my little moisturizing regimen. Nothing too fancy, just some Eucerin moisturizing cream underneath the eyes, some aloe vera gel all over, staying with that trend of keeping cool and relaxing my skin, and some Cetaphil moisturizing cream. But before I go, I just wanted to say that when it comes to protecting your peace, it really is going to look like a fight at times. You're going to have to fight to stay away from people who are not conducive to a peaceful mindset. That means that people you may have been connected to in the past, or even people that you're connected to now, sometimes they're going to do things that will cross your boundaries, the boundaries that you have set around your peace. And don't be afraid to pull back. Don't be afraid to reiterate your boundary. I'm not saying go back and forth and tussle with them about it, renegotiate things. If you have set up your preferences and your deal breakers, you don't have to back down. Sometimes it's really easy for us to respect other people's boundaries, but we don't respect our own. And that is not conducive to our peace. But be encouraged, because each time that you make a step towards protecting your peace, that's just going to better you. If you have enjoyed this content, please feel free to give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a future post. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.